What's up, y'all? This is the LarryBoy Fanatic, and today we're going to be doing the first installment of this year's LarryBoy Vlogs Month. So, to start off, we've got, as you can tell by this list here, well, first and foremost, I was pretty excited, as for some of you guys. For those of you who don't know, back in November of last year, 2020, LarryBoy came back in the episode called LarryBoy and the Cape Coat Caper. So it's been about 2 months since the premiere of that episode on Yippee TV. In answer to your question what this is, I went over the episode, I looked through it. Well, I had to because I did the review on it. What happened was I got word that the episode was coming out on that day. Went ahead and watched it. I paid for a subscription and all that, like I promised you guys in previous videos. So yeah, I watched it a few times, and a few days later I did my review on it. But after sitting down, like having digested all this for about a couple of months now, I have to go over the plot holes. Yeah. If you don't know what this is, a list of plot holes. Well, don't worry, there's like 15 plot holes that I wrote down. So that's what we're going to go ahead and talk about today. So here you go, the plot holes from LarryBoy the Cape Coat Caper to kick off this year's LarryBoy Vlogs Month. Plot hole number 1. Who is Scalini? Now, at first, I was kind of hoping that he would be like a temporary bad guy, just like the Milk Money Bandit from LarryBoy and the Rumorweed. But we see this guy throughout the entire episode, and apparently this guy loves fashion, so that's a hint to his background. But there's not much established about him. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a have to be like a fully established type villain. I mean, with the Bad Apple, we got to know her like little by little. And yeah, she was of importance throughout her episode. But with Scalini, he's just like generic. Throughout the episode, I was kind of expecting, well, I didn't really expect him to be the main villain of that episode. And I'm going to address this again later on in this video. So, yeah. Plot hole number 2. How can you use a fishing rod as a tightrope? I mean, that's not possible. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a cartoon, I understand that, but like, it's ridiculous. It's the best fishing pole ever. Like, it can do anything. And then the second part to the second plot hole is, how is a fishing rod part of the bad guy's inventory at all? I mean, unless you're playing Fortnite, but even in Fortnite, you can't do that. It's like, you can go fishing, you can catch weapons when you're fishing in Fortnite, but this is going beyond Fortnite standards. Like the tightrope, to go through the security beams to avoid them at all costs. I just thought it was weird. And on top of that, there was zero music playing when the scene was on. It's like, it was just like dead silence, and all you see is this guy robbing a museum, throws a fishing pole, ties it up somewhere, and uses it as a tightrope. I just thought that was weird. Okay, my iPad is updating itself right now. So, yeah, plot hole number 3. Why doesn't Cauliflower want to call the police at first for backup? Because when Callie and her friend Laura Carrot, they're at the museum, they saw LarryBoy go into the museum to investigate because the alarms went off. The alarms went off when Scalini had set off one of the alarms. So I can understand some people were saying, hey, Laura was the one that wanted to call the police. But Callie's just like, oh, I need to get a selfie first. Hang on. I need to get a selfie. I need to get a selfie in front of the Larrymobile. It's like, Callie, have some common sense. Call the police. take your friend's advice, call the police, and then take selfies. But then again, it's a crime scene, so why would you do that anyways? So the next plot hole is another two-parter. So plot hole number 4. First part is, what happened to the video screen in the LarryMobile? When Cauliflower accidentally starts the vehicle, we only see this little icon of Alfred on the screen. It's not a video chat thing anymore. It's like, what happened? Like, that was one of the best things out of the LarryMobile, is when you're driving, you're communicating with Alfred, and he's on video screen like what I'm doing right now. But I'm pretty sure people are going to be like, oh, it's the safe way to do things. It's a safe way to communicate. It's hands-free. It's not distracted. Don't give me that. I mean, y'all didn't complain about that when Larry Boy and the Fifth from Outer Space happened. Rumorweed happened. Bad Apple. You can't even make that argument. The second part of plot hole number 4 is, why doesn't Alfred use autopilot to stop the vehicle? If he knows that someone else is in the LarryMobile, somebody who's not Larry Boy, why can't you safely take Callie back to the museum where Larry Boy is and then just go from there? Because isn't there a system in place where you can track where the LarryMobile is going? I could have sworn that you had something like that in Fib, Rumorweed, and all the other Larry Boy videos. Callie would be brought back to safety. Because right now, she's just driving. I'll use this as a steering wheel. She's just driving. You have a minor who's driving the vehicle, who without permission, and she's not knowing what to do, and she's trying to control the LarryMobile. Is like, that's dangerous. Bring the vehicle to a halt or something. Use autopilot. Or have the machine turn off so that she doesn't get hurt and she doesn't hurt anybody that's in her way. 100 times safer. Oh my gosh. Plot hole number 5 is the news reporter, who's not Petunia Rhubarb this time. From what I understand, she's that chick from Beauty and the Beat. And I don't think she's voiced by the same person. I don't know. I would have to look it up. But in this episode, I did not like her. And that begs the question, did she take Petunia Rhubarb's job? Did Petunia Rhubarb quit? I mean, where is she? Because I have no idea who this other girl is. And basically, I don't care. I know she's Maribel from Beauty and the Beat, but is that even her name in Beauty and the Beat? I don't know. No, I just didn't like her attitude and the fact that she was way over biased. It's like she totally had it out for Larry Boy, and that was kind of wrong, and that's not being a good reporter in my opinion. So please give us back Petunia Rhubarb. She's a really good news reporter, unlike this generic wannabe news reporter. Alright, number 6. If the news media are quick to criticize Larry Boy for his failure to capture Scalini, why don't they interview Callie more? Like, not just like ask her what happened. It's like, have her go into detail. Have the police involved. Like, there's got to be an investigation. And if it turns out she's lying, then you let the authorities handle it. Because I know there's a rule that you can't lie under oath. Well, that's in court. But if it goes to court, then she would be in serious trouble, and that would serve her right. Not one person questions her honesty, credibility. I mean, sure, she's a minor, but this thing about a Cape Coat guy, like, she made it up. It's obvious that she made it up and far-fetched. Why doesn't anybody press her further on who this Cape Coat person is, or if this person even exists? So, plot hole number 7. How is QWERTY the computer part of the LARRYCAVE now? I mean, sure, it's a really good addition. It's like, I kind of appreciated QWERTY being there, because in the VeggieTales show, it's like, I don't think we see him at all. I was under the impression that they did away with QWERTY. They were retiring the computer. But they gave him new life in this episode. It was like, as LarryBoy's computer. It's pretty neat. But I was just wondering how that came to be. Like, did he rescue him from the dump? How QWERTY got here is unknown. Like, did LarryBoy rescue him from the dump, or did he buy him off somebody to save it from going into the landfill? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So, plot hole number 8. Where is the LarryCopter when you need it? Now, the Larrymobile, it gets wrecked once Cauliflower runs into the statue with it. Like, there's a big statue in the museum. Well, outside the museum, if you will. And she accidentally crashes into that. So, obviously, the Larrymobile is in repairs. But come next scene, when we see LarryBoy next to try and hunt down Scalini, he's on a friggin' pogo stick. I mean, seriously. I understand they're trying to make this comedic and all that. But that, you can't tell me that was their only option. Because before all this, understand this, pre the VeggieTales show, before this reboot happened, and even before VeggieTales in the House and City, what did they come up with in League of Incredible Vegetables? Yes, the one thing that was good about that movie was the LarryCopter. Where is it? And why did they not use that copter in this episode? Sorry for pointing my fingers at you. It's like, clearly LarryBoy didn't have any alternative other than a pogo stick, which is stupid. I mean, yeah, some people find it funny, but then he goes out of the hat store or whatever, and he's chasing the villain. It's like, enjoy your freedom, Scalini. There's a grim hunter out for you, or something like that. I remember that one part of the line, grim hunter. Well, somebody tell this grim hunter to use his helicopter. It's like, I don't think a grim hunter would use a pogo stick. Jeez. Alright, so speaking of the hat shop, plot hole number 9. Why doesn't Jimmy Gord question the miner about being in this hat shop? I mean, seriously. Callie is in there and she's got these glasses with a mustache. This little disguise or whatever. And she's just there. She's just there. And Jimmy doesn't question her. It's like, oh sure, a miner is in my hat shop. Not at the arcade, not at Dave & Buster's or Main Event. It's like, not the park or baseball game or whatever. Wherever kids go to nowadays. No, they want to hang out at the hat shop. And that also comes into mind, where are the parents? And I think I've addressed this in my review. Where are the parents when it comes to all this stuff happening? All these kids getting into trouble, Callie lying about who robbed the Larrymobile and all that. You have Junior Asparagus getting in trouble for lying and perpetually causing the Fit from Outer Space incident and the rumor weed incident, along with Laura Carrot. I mean, seriously, where are the parents? Number 10 is pretty interesting. And that got me really, really, really upset. And again, it's a two-parter. So 10A, why does Jimmy speak ill about LarryBoy when he clearly had no problems with him earlier in the hat shop? It's like, oh yeah, it's cool. Don't worry about it. He sees his hat shop in shambles and is like, oh, it was like he was kind of chill about it. And then the next scene where there's the news report about LarryBoy messing up again is like, oh my god. It was like, yeah, he's terrible. Okay, why the sudden change of attitude? And then 10B, plot hole 10B. Why did that one citizen, that one lady, there was this one lady where she's like, lock him up, lock him up. I was like, why would you say that? What did LarryBoy do? It's like, you want to lock him up. Why? He didn't do anything wrong. He's trying his best to take down the bad guy. So why are you wanting to have him locked up? This has to be one of the lines. This obviously speaks to the... And this is really controversial to say, but this is... Every time I hear someone say, lock him up on TV, in a news story, it's like, you want him to be canceled? It's directly talking about the cancel culture, and I hate that. Either that's a throwaway line or the writers didn't know what they were doing. Clearly that woman's crazy for even going on TV and saying that. I mean, congratulations. You got your few seconds of fame. So move along. Number 11. Cauliflower has a villain disguise, a villain costume. But this time not just the glasses and all that. Well, she has some kind of mask or whatever. And this Zorro costume. I have no idea where she got that costume. Was it just sitting in there waiting for her to put it on at some point? It's like she got that costume out of nowhere. And she's like, oh, I need to make things right. And then the next thing you know, she comes out of the closet and she's like, yep, I'm ready to go. Or something like that. This stupid Zorro costume, it's put together and it looks to try to pretend to be the villain called Cape Coat. And even when her friend is telling her that she needs to come clean, that she needs to tell LarryBoy the truth about everything, no, she has to put on this costume. Well, I kind of understand where she's going with this. Probably to just confront LarryBoy and then tell him. But then when we get to the next scene, she's just stalling for time. And she's just like telling more and more lies. So what is the point of having a costume? Okay, plot hole number 12. When the episode draws closer and closer to the climax, you realize that the Fib from Outer Space is not in this episode. Why not? I mean, you had the opportunity to give us the red fib that was teased in LarryBoy and the Fib from Outer Space. I felt that was like a missed opportunity. Maybe you could have had the red fib trying to manipulate Callie into lying. And then her lying wouldn't be just like, oh, this happened or that person did it. I didn't do anything. I was with her. By the way, there's a Cape Coat running loose. It's like, that would have been way easier. You know how the original Fib and Junior hit it off at some point? Even though that's totally wrong and it's like stranger danger, a red flag. But you know what? I guarantee you, with the red fib, like it would have tied everything together. Okay, number 13. How does Callie know where to find LarryBoy in the climax? I mean, she knows exactly where to find him. It's near the Larry signal. Maybe it's a lucky guess, but I'm not here to justify I'm not going to justify the plot holes. You can do that in the comments if you want to. Alright, I think we got 2 more left. Yeah, from this big ol' list. Number 14. How is Callie able to zoom in on the bad guy's bag? On her phone, how is she able to zoom in on Scalini's bag when this whole time she only had pictures of the Larrymobile on her phone? And that's one of the discrepancies of Callie's phone. And I think Christian Nutrition, he pointed out another discrepancy. There was one point in when she was in the Larrymobile and she was trying to steer clear of civilians and all that. At some point, she drops her phone and the phone shows her at a certain angle when clearly that's not how it's supposed to look. I mean, if it's under the dashboard, you would think that the phone would be focused on the dashboard type part of the vehicle. But no, the camera's focused on her. So I can understand discrepancies. So this was another discrepancy. How is she able to zoom in? But some people would say the phone was in Scalini's bag and he must have taken pictures or something like that. Or maybe he must have zoomed in. But again, that's not made clear. I mean, at some point we see him holding the camera, but it wasn't to his bag. And plus, I forgot to write this down. If Scalini had her phone this whole time, what's to stop him from deleting her photos, like deleting evidence? An intelligent bad guy would do that. Just saying. I don't suggest it because Scalini's the bad guy and I do not condone the actions of a bad guy. I condemn him, yes. It's a generic villain. Another one like Dr. Flurry, even though Dr. Flurry is no longer a villain, according to the VeggieTales Show. Okay, my voice is getting tired. Thank God I'm at the final plot hole. Before that, let me take a swig of my soda. Still hadn't gotten a new koozie for that thing. But anyway, plot hole number 15. How did LarryBoy capture Scalini? When all is said and done, when Callie confesses to LarryBoy the truth about everything, tells him about the Larrymobile, tells him that Cape Coat doesn't exist, and he finds out where Scalini is, we cut to the next scene, and there's a news story where it's like, hey, he captured the bad guy already. Wouldn't it make sense to have a scene of him capturing the bad guy? I mean, we have him capturing the bad guy at the museum in the earlier scenes, but what about, like, after the climax? It's like, okay, we know where Scalini is, go get him. It immediately cuts to Scalini captured already. And Scalini is very frustrated. It's like, I would have wanted to see like a one-on-one, LarryBoy versus Scalini. I mean, there's no end game. But the only end game you see is Callie almost dying from falling off a building. And then LarryBoy falling off a building and being like, I'm okay. I know they did that for comedic purposes. But then that goes down the toilet when we realize that LarryBoy captured Scalini already without even showing us how he did it. A lot of plot holes, you guys. Well, 15. Some of them were two-parters. I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, but I wanted to wait until LarryBoy Vlogs Month to do it and be able to analyze the episode and critique it. Just like I did for the review. If you haven't seen the review yet, it's right there. So anyways, this is the first installment of LarryBoy Vlogs Month. I hope you tune in for more this month. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. I kind of like using the camcorder, like right here. It's like this camera right here. That seems to be the main focus of this year's LarryBoy Vlogs Month. So I'm really glad that I'm doing it like this. And hopefully I get a camcorder because, I mean, not that there's a problem with me filming on my tablet or whatever, or using my camcorder. But I've been wanting a camcorder for a few years now, and I think I've addressed that in one of my previous videos, one of my past videos. But anyways, hopefully I get I get a camcorder because that would be so nice. And by the way, a new chair. If you haven't seen it already, a new chair. So I wanted to do LarryBoy Vlogs Month in style. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, give it a like and please subscribe to the channel. And as always, this is your girl, LarryBoy Fanatic, the eyes and plunger ears of the LarryBoy universe. And stay tuned for more LarryBoy Vlogs Month. See you guys.